Hi guys, hope you're doing well. I have a couple of topics for you today, so let's get started because I don't want this audio to be too long and I really want you to listen to it. The first thing I'm gonna say is that I have a couple of slots now available for new clients. As you know, every now and then I'll take some new clients when I'll have the time. I have not published this yet, and I don't think I will for a little bit because I do enjoy the extra time to film more of these audios. So I'm not sure when I'm gonna publish it, but they're available. The only thing I'm gonna mention is that, hopefully everybody knows, I don't take everybody as a client. And the reason is basically unrealistic expectations and also not understanding how magic works and what magic is. It's very important for me to get clients that do realize what magic is, what it does, how it works. And it's no problem if they don't know this in the beginning because I'm uh, totally willing to explain it. But if somebody still thinks that magic is basically a demon entering your ex and forcing them to go back to you, if somebody thinks that if they get a spell, they don't need to change anything about themselves and they can stay the same person they are, the anxious, the needy, the desperate, or somebody who wants to control their ex, I'm not taking you. No way, no how. If somebody thinks that if they buy a spell, it's gonna work immediately, and if it doesn't work within 2 weeks or a month and they have a horribly hard situation, then magic isn't real. I'm not gonna take you. And still, even with all the precautions, there are going to be people that will not follow the instructions. I'm aware of that, but at least I try to eliminate some of them. The reason why, mainly why, is because I don't want to be wasting my time and energy. That's the main reason. I don't care about, bad reviews, people who waited for 2 weeks and did nothing, didn't change at all, saying, oh, it doesn't work. Don't care. What I care about is, my time, my energy, and, I want to help people. And if there is no way that that can happen, I don't even want to try it because I know it's not going to work if you don't follow the instructions. I know it. So I'm not going to do it in that case. And if you look at the reviews that I have, you can see that all of the people have followed the instructions. It's very important. They're there for a reason. It's not stupid. It's not dumb. It actually works. Your vibration is important because what magic is energy work. So I hope that is clear. Now let's go into the first subject of the day. So the first subject is going to be, I don't think anybody asked me this, at least not recently, but it's something I just figured I want to talk about. It's going to be working with the deities, with gods and goddesses. So as you know, I don't do that. I don't do that. And I'm going to explain why. And it's not because I don't think it can work. Absolutely not. I actually understand the concept behind it. I have tried it and I can see how it can work. So people who work with goddesses and deities, gods, deities, okay, that's what I wanted to say, are not necessarily scammers at all. I don't think that. I want to make that clear. But I'm going to explain why I do not do it myself. So it doesn't resonate with me, and that's just what it is. Basically, how you're going to practice magic is the way magic is going to resonate with you. So me, myself, I love a very scientific approach because I am a very skeptical person, believe it or not. And I used to be extremely skeptical, and now, of course, that has changed, but I still am skeptical and I still need, some evidence, something behind it. I always need that. So for me, it doesn't resonate for me, even though I do understand some practices behind it, absolutely, but it doesn't resonate with me as a person. So I only work with my own energy. I work with my ancestors. I work with my spirit guides. I work with my angels. I work with Angel Jophel, and I work with Saint Rita. And you may be asking, oh, well, how does that resonate with you, Svetlana? So, the reason why it resonates with me is because I know that angels are real. I know that we all have spirit guides. Obviously, we all have ancestors. And also, when it comes to saints, I know that these are people that actually existed, that did miracles while they were on this earth. And I know for sure that energy doesn't die. Energy can't die. This is a scientific fact. So their energy is still out there. So it can still be used, and you can still connect with their energy and work with their energy. So this is what resonates with me personally, and this is what works for me, and this is how I do my work, again, in my practice. It does not mean that my practice is the only practice that works. Absolutely not. Different things will work for different people, and that's beautiful, and that is totally fine. But with me, it just doesn't resonate. It never did. And that's just me. That's just my preference. However, I always have been connected to things I am talking about, and this is just something that always has resonated with me. Obviously, when it comes to your ancestors, also, they were here, and their energy, and energy doesn't die. Spirit guides, we all have spirit guides. I'm 100% sure of that, because we couldn't read the tarot if we didn't, us that read the tarot. And you know you can actually you can actually know that you have spirit guides, because your intuition is actually your spirit guides. And I wanted to kind of address something as well. And it's quite interesting, how, and I bet this happened to most of you, how sometimes you're going somewhere and then you get that feeling, oh, I'm gonna see this person now. And you ran into that person. And it's basically like you were very intuitive at that moment, but you were actually very connected to your spirit guides, who have told you you are going to run into this person. Because how do our spirit guides communicate with us? Obviously, they're not going to write us a letter. So it will usually be thoughts that we are having, but it's not something we are thinking. So it's like a random thought popping up in our head. It can be our spirit guides, and they can communicate in different ways. It's going to depend. It's going to depend on a person. It's going to depend on a bunch of stuff, but they do always communicate with us. Some of us are more connected with them than the others, but everybody has them, and they're there to guide us. So they do communicate with us, so that's very important to mention. I love working with spirit guides. I love working with angels very much as well. So that's a bit about me and what resonates with me, and why it resonates with me. So, some people are more skeptical than the others. There's all sorts of practitioners, and this is just the way I am. I love when I have some science behind things. It's important for me. For some people, it's not, and that's great. That's great. But for me, it is. So, yeah. And, the last topic, because I've been talking for 10 minutes almost now, is gonna be a bit of psychology, because it's so important. It's so important. And you wouldn't believe it, but psychology is very much connected with our energy, with everything. So it's going to be about those patterns we talked about yesterday. And the question is going to be, is it important to find out where the pattern is coming from in your childhood to kind of fix it? Uh, and I wouldn't say it's not important, but I would say it's not crucial. Because the thing is that patterns, where they come from, where patterns come from, or limiting beliefs, or, just programming in general, it can come from an event that we consciously do not remember. It can be something that's not significant at all. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be somebody abandoning us. It doesn't have to be anything, huge. It can be just a sentence that somebody told us once and that got stuck in our head. And then after we kind of matured and stuff, we kind of consciously forgot it, but it's still in our subconscious mind. So sometimes it's even very hard to detect where exactly it began. So I wouldn't say it's that important. I do think that if you actually find um, where it came from can be beneficial in terms of you will be able to understand it better. And when we kind of understand things better, oh, this is because of this, and it's just easier for us to control it, and it's easier for us to kind of understand it and everything. So I do think it does help, but I don't think it's crucial for working on your pattern. It's not. So if you don't know exactly where it came from, you can still successfully work on this pattern or on this limiting belief you might have, or something inside of your subconscious that is blocking you. You can still work on that without knowing where it came from. It can only be helpful to know because it for our brain, it's just easier to kind of understand things if they can like connect it. So just like it is for me easier to do my magic when I can like, oh yeah, it's gonna work because of this, and this is scientifically proven, so this is how it works. And it just, my brain is like, oh yes. So your brain is the same. That's just how our brains work. So when we can actually connect something and know where it came from and why it came, it's just easier for us to process that, if that makes sense. But even without knowing the exact time when it happened, you can still do it. So it's not that you need to know it, it's just gonna make the process easier for you. Okay. So, guys, I hope this was helpful. It was just, it's not a short audio, but I just try to, explain it as fast as I can so you don't have to listen to me for too long. Um, I also want to mention that, again, a lot of you have been having movements. And I'm not surprised because we are in Venus and Mercury retrograde. So even though we may not be feeling very well, it can be very beneficial for magic. So I'm super glad for that. And yeah, let's just keep doing the good work, not giving up, being, patient, being, really, I can't remember the word, I'm sorry. But persisting, yeah, that's it. Persisting, working on ourselves, and just becoming better and more powerful human beings. Anyways, I love you guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye.